So in this video, I'm going to talk about the South African permanent residency, and one of the biggest advantages of this residency is the price point for $6,800 USD approximately. You can actually avail yourself a South African permanent residency. Hardly get anything for that price point. If you look at some of the golden visas that are available, they are in the spotlight, they're in the limelight for all the wrong reasons. Most of them have been cancelled. If you take an example of the Portugal or the Ireland golden visa or the Spanish golden visa, most of them are being taken down. Some of them are already closed. A lot of Western jurisdictions have all their spotlights or focus and attention on these glorified residency. Now, essentially, if you see, it's not a big deal, right? It's a residency, it's a golden visa. It has some flexibility, but that flexibility is also available with other options. Just because they are glorified and known for rich people to abuse, supposedly, again, they are always subject to more scrutiny. Now, if you have missed my video on the actions that Western governments are taking against the golden visas and some of the CBI passports, the countries that sell their passports, you can return and check this link. This talks about the entire investigation that seems to be going on and the spotlight that it's creating. Now, regarding the South African permanent residency, so as I said, the biggest one is the price. That's a very competitive, rather hard to believe kind of a price. The second big advantage is the low key option, right? So unlike the golden visas that are subject to scrutiny, attention, unnecessary attention, South Africa is really under the radar. And I'm not, when I say under the radar, it's low key in a good way, right? So nothing bad about it. It's a very convenient, very nice option. One of the best emerging Plan B options of the future. Most of the CBI passports, in my opinion, don't make a whole lot of sense if you're looking for certain things from a plan B. Exceedingly in future, low-key options is the way to go. Emerging markets are offering some very beneficial, lucrative residencies. So those are the ones that I personally would focus on and look at. The third big advantage rather is that it is a booming sector for multiple reasons. It's booming not only from a financial standpoint, a lot of other sectors and industries that are coming up. So if you're looking for making money, again, the South African market is not bad. Again, it comes with its own risk, but still I feel it is a very emerging type of market. Now, none of this is investment, legal, immigration, tax, or finance advice. This is just my personal opinion and educational content. One of the biggest one is the geopolitical positioning, right? So a lot of people are leaving the West. You have citizenship-based taxation in some parts. Crazy governments really taxing its citizens. A lot of people are, and that's a good thing, right? Good thing for those economies. But a lot of people who don't like that or don't enjoy it, they are moving away. They're trying to run away for various reasons. The biggest one being, let's say, the whole taxation burden, right? So a lot of people are running away from the West and establishing Plan B residencies in other parts of the world. It's not only to run away, right? So maybe they are not running away. Maybe they have their stable base in those Western countries, but they want a secure location and alternative to diversify. So let's say if their mind changes or things go out of control, then at least they have a secure and stable place. You don't want to be running from one Western jurisdiction to another Western jurisdiction. A lot of the golden visas are designed for that. You're running away from one trap to the other in certain cases, right? So you don't want to be doing anything wrong. You don't want to be falling into any kind of traps. The other side is the Middle Eastern side, right? The Gulf and the Middle East. Now, these are Arabic nations, Muslim nations. They are great for certain type of people, but a lot of people don't prefer the Middle East. The belief system is very different. The flexibility, the liberalism, the whole mindset or the idea of living in the Middle Eastern side is not very convenient for a lot of people. Again, not good or bad. I'm just saying a lot of people don't prefer the Middle East or the Gulf countries. So that is the other extreme, I would say. And then you have the whole hot, inflamed conflict zone, right? The war or the conflict, whatever is going on in the Caucasus region, the entire area. And then you have other problems over there because of the conflict. The inflation is extremely high. From a financial standpoint, again, this is not immigration investment advice, but from a financial standpoint, for me at least, it doesn't make any sense investing or trying to make some returns in that area. That's where the African continent makes a lot of sense from a geopolitical positioning. It's right in the center, right? It has some very hidden gems. One of the biggest things that's happening with South Africa is that the safety situation is alarmingly improving. Now, if you look at some of the US government safety travel advisory, some of those countries in the Africas are rating as a level 1, which is very rare because hardly any of the Latin American countries even, they typically fall in the range of 2 to 3 or more. So having a rating of 1 is super nice. It's really good to see that Africa has improved so much in the safety situation. So that was my, other advantage. It's extremely safe to a large extent. At least I find it that way. You have to use common sense anywhere. Again, there are certain areas in South Africa that are equally unsafe as some of the other bigger cities that you might be coming from. But relatively speaking, it's very safe in my opinion. Now, what is the option, right? How do you qualify for the South African permanent residency? Now, I have created a very step-by-step series of videos which talks about every single step, every single requirement. There's some net worth criteria that needs to be shown. Again, net worth is not bank balances or cash accounts. Net worth is your entire holding, right? If you have that and you pay the required amount that I mentioned earlier, then you can qualify for the permanent residency in South Africa. The huge advantage is that it allows dual citizenship. There's a pathway to citizenship, so that training really covers every single piece of detail. The biggest advantage of that training is that I've included government sources. So a lot of these requirements or amounts vary and differ with different resources over the internet. So it's very important to make sure you're referencing the exact and the right amounts and the right requirements. So it refers to all the government resources that you would need, not only for the permanent residency, but it also has resources for the citizenship process. It's very important to understand the residency and the citizenship, how they are tied, how much time it takes, how that process functions. Also, one of the very, very, very big advantages towards the end that I wanted to point out is the flexibility. A lot of people want a residency which gives them a lot of flexibility. This is one of the most flexible residencies that I have come across. So not only that the cost is very, very low, but it also has an extremely flexible residency permit. It's very generous. Obviously, when you're working towards citizenship, you want to get things right. Again, citizenship has separate requirements, but the permanent residency seems to be very, very flexible. So it talks about the flexibility, the benefits, the detailed requirements that you need, the government sources where you need to look up the forms. The intention of this training is to do it yourself if that's what you want, right? It's always good to consult with an attorney before you do anything. And there are 3 ways that you can do it, right? Either you can do it yourself. Again, all of this information is not legal advice. It's not meant to substitute any kind of professional advice. And then it's up to you whether you want to do it yourself. The second option is you can obviously hire an attorney. You know the process. You're working with an attorney. Things become smooth. You can always book a call with us, reach us, and we can help you out with, hook you up with the right legal person who can guide you through this entire process. So the training really equips you with all the information that's needed. The main intent of the training is to give you all the information. So all the people who want to do things themselves, some people cannot afford attorneys, some people want to just have the experience of doing this on their own. So then this becomes a repeatable procedure for other countries if they want that experience of doing it on their own. So this is a DIY series that is available exclusively to my members. course. Again, this is a membership invite only. So if you are interested in going through the South African tutorial, the training course that I've created, you can click that link in the description. There's also a join button on the videos related to that. And these are exclusively open to the members of my channel. Well, I hope you liked this video. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Before you go, make sure to subscribe to my channel so you are always updated on any new residencies or citizenships that come up. All right, catch you in the next one.